This is the start of our greenhouse, and when you're working with a slope, it is quite a challenge. And when you're working with a situation of having the slope and having plus a irregular lot where that it gets more narrow at the top plus sloping upward, it is a challenge to put a greenhouse and get a nice level stable base. So anyhow, these are interlocking block, and there's a cap that goes on top of it, and each, as you go up, as you step up, you lose 1.5 inches on each step upward. You know, this is going to be Sparky's new hangout when it's done. One frame, the frame is up on for one wall here. It's 21 feet wide by 46 feet. And these are block that you just sit on top of each other, and they recess in about 1.5 inches as you step them up. So you do lose a little space that way. So if you want to make sure to have your full 21 by 46, you have to allow for the stepping up process of losing that amount of inches as you step up. So anyhow, one wall's done. This is January the 12th, 2013, and this is going to be a greenhouse / Sparky's hangout.
This is going to be the front entrance here to the left. You'll have 2 doors that swing inward. Have a 6-foot opening. Had this guy helping me. Pretty good worker. We got 3 courses of block, 8-inch block, and I put a bunch of steel rods in it since I'm going to be building a greenhouse on top of it. Put the caps on, glued them yesterday. Had to use a hairdryer. My wife had to use a hairdryer to get the glue to come out of the gun so that I could glue the caps on.
Okay, this is still January the 12th, and this morning they just had this wall on this side done, the frame on this side. But now they have, it looks like the frame is pretty well done in the back now and ready for the windows to go in. And the other side, they cut the lumber yesterday and they had it all ready to put up today. So now they've got the other side completed. So now there's just the front framework to do, and then the windows can be started on. This is January 14th, 2013, and it is now, the building has all 4 sides, and they're plumbed, they're squared, they're ready for the trusses that will be the support for the roof. And so once the roofing, the support and the roof's done, then the windows will be put in. And so in 4 days, all the frame is up now for Sparky's new hangout / greenhouse. This is January the 15th, 2013, and this is 50 of the 4x8 sheets of polycarbonate. And this will go on the greenhouse, on the roof, and the sides of the greenhouse. Today is January the 17th, and January 17th, 2013, the 16th, the trusses came, and the 15th was when the polycarbonate and the other supplies came. So hopefully today the trusses can all be on there, and some of the windows. I doubt that any of the polycarbonate will be put on today, possibly. But it's moving along. I think there is maybe 4 or 5 trusses up right now. It's kind of hard to tell. So it's moving right along. It's almost 12 o'clock, and the guy started around 8 this morning on putting the trusses up. So they are almost finished over there, and it is only around almost 4 hours later. It's almost 12 o'clock. So things are moving along pretty good. Today is January the 18th and 2013, and now they're working on these double pane windows that my husband got probably about 25 years ago, and he paid $17 a piece, and he had a lot of them that was just basically taking up space for all these years, and they've been moved here and there and other places to get out of the way of other things. So he's hung on to them all these years, and I wasn't big on them because they don't open, but he will have areas above and below the windows that will open for this greenhouse. And so they have to take a section, a piece of the edging off somehow or another, and screw the window in, and then put this piece back in place. So I guess they've got it all figured out by now as far as exactly how to do it. It's so cold out that I am staying inside and watching from afar. It's around 30 degrees, and the winds, I think, are supposed to be up to around 20-mile-an-hour winds. So my husband said to one of the guys that was cold, why don't they come inside the greenhouse there and get warm? So, of course, the air's blowing right through, and it's mighty cold on everybody today. Well, I believe today's January 18th. Any of my flubs, I'll try to straighten it out on what I write about this greenhouse. They got 38 windows in today, and these are the $17 windows my husband got about 25 years ago. They are a double pane, and they have a metal frame around it, very heavy duty tinted glass. And now the guy at the lumber yard said they would be about $300 a piece. I thought my husband lost his mind when he spent $1,000 for 60 of them, and they're like 32 inches by 48 inches, and he has moved them and from here and there, and they've taken up space, and he just kept hanging on to them, and he finally ended up having something he could use them for. So had he bought the windows for this greenhouse, as if this greenhouse isn't going to be expensive enough, it's going to be plenty expensive enough, because it's 21 by 48 feet. I made a mistake on that on one of them and called it 46 feet, but it's actually 48 feet. So they've got the windows, 38 windows. They've got the 4 windows in the back and 4 windows in the front. And I didn't count these, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 on each side, if I counted right. So it's coming along. They put boards on the roof today that will support the polycarbonate, whatever it is, sheeting that's going to be used on the greenhouse. And then they also have to put up boards to do the fascia front and back. And then I don't know how many more days it's going to take, but it's going to be getting cold. So these windows, by having the black frame, then it will have a gray, the polycarbonate is kind of a gray color, so I think it'll be a nice accent. My husband was going to go with white, but I think black and gray goes really well together. We might have a black door, we're undecided. That'll be an accent, and maybe a black handle, and that'll kind of, or possibly gray. We're not really sure about. But we have the metal doors. There's like fiberglass doors, and there's also metal, the doors that we got and that we ordered, and they are made from metal. We could have got fiberglass, but we both agreed on the metal. We think that's going to be a better choice. And they're French doors. They're double doors, which I've said before, on the front and the back. Okay, here is 2 panels that was built today. They're 2 foot wide by 12 foot long, and the panels, they were built out of 5/4 pressure treated board, and it was cut lengthwise to make the frame, and then these connectors was used, and that holds the frame together. And then there was screws and washers used to, this is regular greenhouse screws and washers to mount the polycarbonate to the frame. And this is actually going to be like a push-out window. So my husband has to figure just exactly how he is going to, what type of thing that he's going to use to push the window out. If it gets too hot, there's a couple different ways to go. It can just lift out. It can have hinges on it. It can have kind of like some sort of an arm to push it out. So we're just not really sure where we're going to go from here as far as how to get the windows open. But these will need to open, and there will be this 2 foot by 12 foot window that will open above and below the existing 32-inch by 48-inch windows that's in the greenhouse, that has been put into the frame of the greenhouse. There'll be 8 windows that will open automatically, and this is one of them that was already made up. That's the way that they came. And they will open up automatically on the roof if it gets too hot. More was done to the overhang. There's a foot overhang, and there's a board and a drip edge put all the way around the building. This is January 19th, 2013, so it's a moving along. So what I just showed you in the garage was the windows that will be going in this area here below these windows that my husband got for $17. So their one panel is 12 foot long. Not sure how many panels that they'll need for the whole 48 foot length, but they will run all the way on the lower part and the upper part. So that was a little more complicated there. They really run into some trouble getting those situated today. But now I think it's going to be back to smooth sailing again. So,
The weather's not gonna hold up.
but the weather's not going to hold up, my husband just said. So what work's done is going to have to be done in the garage.